Welcome to the Bucks and MK School Games Week. Dan the Skipping Man Skip Live. This is a general skip live, so the idea is we'll start off with the basics of how to skip and gradually we're going to work through just some simple skills, tricks and challenges to improve your general skipping as we go. Now before we start, everyone has to consider safety when they are doing this skip live. You please keep yourself in a safe space to skip. Make sure there's no one or nothing around you that you might hit. If you aren't in a big enough space, you don't have to use a skipping rope. You can use a rope if you want to. I'm using a Dan the Skipping Man speed rope, but you do not have to use a rope if you do not have the space to do so safely. Also, obviously, you do this session at your own risk. Please do take care of yourself. Don't try anything that you think will be too difficult for your ability level at this time. Just try and gradually work through. And if you are finding things difficult, then get rid of the rope and just have a go at the ideas that we're shown by mimicking what we're doing without a skipping rope. That's your way to keep improving, keep developing and working on techniques, but obviously without making it too difficult for yourself. Now we're going to start off with the basics. First of all, how to hold the rope. Might seem really obvious, but we're going to go through it, then how to stand properly, and then how to at least start yourself skipping before we move on. So, first thing to note, this, as I said, is a Dan the Skipping Man speed rope, and if you look at my handles, you've got a chubbier bit of the handle and a thinner bit of the handle where the rope comes out of, where the rope comes away. Okay, the actual skipping rope comes away. At the other end, the only bit that will come out is the end of the skipping rope, and that should sit nicely in the handle normally anyway. So what you're looking to do is the chubbier bit of the handle goes near your little finger, and you hold the rope like that, and then you put your thumb on top, almost like you're holding a games controller. Okay, so you almost hold the rope in that way. Now, what we're then going to do is we are going to start with a skipping rope behind us. Look at how I've got my hands, my elbows are tucked in, my feet are super glued together, and my head is just looking forward in a position, a sort of standard, as it were, a standard walking position, just literally looking forward, not up, not down, just looking forward. Simple as that. Okay, so that's the position. We're really calm, we're really relaxed, and we're not going to try anything too hard. Now, to start with, we're just going to focus on turning the rope over and stepping over it. You might be able to do this a bit more continuously than I can. I'm going to have to keep returning back to the middle because otherwise I'll walk into the camera. But the idea is we're connecting this idea of trigger and action. And the trigger is the rope coming over and hitting the ground, and the action is stepping over it for now. Okay, so then I'm just going to move back to the middle, but you don't have to do that if you've got the space. The trigger's the rope hitting the ground, the action's stepping over it. We're just going to do that 3 or 4 times just to sort of build up your memory of what to do as the rope hits the ground. So rope comes over, it smacks, and your action is to walk over it at this point. Keep everything really relaxed, just stepping over, nice and relaxed and calm. You might be able to do it 2 or 3 times moving forward, but as I said, I have to keep backing off because otherwise I'm going to smack into the camera and we don't want that. Now, once you've done that 5, 6, 7 times and you've just sort of got a feel for what you're doing, we're going to then focus on how to jump the rope. Now, we're not at the moment going to connect this idea up. Instead, we are going to literally do over, hit, jump once and just stop. So it'll look like this. Over, hits the trigger, you jump and you stop, and the rope just stops calmly. You don't have to swing the rope fast or hard. It just swings, hits, and you jump and you stop. Do that as many times at this stage as you need to do before carrying on. I'm just going to do it 3 or 4 times just to allow you to build up your confidence. Now what you'll notice is I'm making sure that the rope does come around a second time. To do that, I'm just flicking my wrists and the rope is presenting itself in front of me and I'm just stopping it calmly. That's deliberate because then when we connect this up in a second, the rope will come around and you can just jump again. So let's try that. Now we're going to do what we call a single bounce. That's where you essentially connect the single bounces together and you turn it into skipping continuously. So starter position again, everything really relaxed and balanced. The rope's going to come over and hit the ground. You allow the rope to come around again, it hits again and you just jump. So it's hit, jump, hit, jump, hit, jump. Keep bending those knees right up on the balls of your feet. Hit, jump, hit, jump, hit, jump. Really calm. This doesn't have to be fast at this stage. Plenty of time to go quickly later on. Hit, jump, hit, jump, hit, jump, hit, jump. And that's just how to connect those single bounces. And if you can do this, and you can do 3, 4, 5, you're really starting to get skipping. And you'll be amazed, even people that are struggling at this stage, how quickly you can improve with these simple tips and ideas as you go. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to what's called a double bounce. So the idea of the double bounce is instead of just doing one bounce per turn, you're going to do 2 bounces per turn. So that means as the rope is in the air, you're going to have to add in a second bounce. The first bounce is always done on that hit on the ground. I'm going to keep going on about it. Trigger and action. But the second bounce comes as the rope is up in the air, and it creates a bit of a softer bounce, a bit of a softer technique than the single bounce, which at times can almost be a little bit hard on your knees, a little bit harder in terms of the intensity. So here what we're going to do, rope comes over and hits the ground, big jump, let's jump, big jump, let's jump, big jump, let's jump, big jump, let's jump. So this is a double bounce. Just stop there a second if you just want to do one double bounce and stop, that's fine. We'll do that again, one double bounce and stop, and then same idea as before, just connecting the dots and doing a continuous double bounce, essentially carrying it on all the time. 1, 2, 1, 2. Everything's balanced, everything's calm, everything's controlled. I'm still looking forward. I'm keeping those elbows tucked in, and my feet are staying super glued together. The rope is not turning quickly at this point. It doesn't need to, because the more control you have over the rope, the more skills you can do. And as we build through this, you'll need control to keep improving. Okay, stop there. By the way, guys, as you're going through this Down the Skipping Man Skip Live, feel free to stop at any time, grab yourself a drink of water, just refresh yourself so that you're not just sort of really tiring yourself out. That's absolutely fine to do. What we're going to do now is we're going to take that double bounce and we're going to work on what's called a side straddle. So it's a double bounce with your feet together. You're then splitting your feet shoulder width apart, and you do a double bounce with your feet apart, and then it's back together. So it's going to be feet together, feet apart, 2 on each, feet together, feet apart, feet together, feet apart. Staying really calm, staying really balanced. You're not working too hard here again. It's 2 together, 2 apart, 2 together, 2 apart. Keep the head up and the chest relaxed and the shoulders relaxed as well. And turning from the wrists so the rope is coming through calmly and really nice and steadily. If you need to stop, just stop. Reset into our reset position and start again. Say it to yourself, feet together, feet apart, feet together, feet apart. It's not embarrassing to be saying these things to yourself, either in your head or out loud. It will help with the rhythm, and rhythm is vital in skipping. Now what we're going to work on is we're going to work on some hopping. So I'm going to build up to what's called an alternate foot hop, but before that we're just going to literally do some hopping. So as the rope comes over, it'll hit the ground, trigger and action again, and you're just going to go onto the right foot and you're going to hop 5 times. Then we're going to stop, we're going to go on the left foot and hop 5 times, and then we'll move on to an alternate foot hop. So starter position again, balanced. Rope comes over and hits the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we stop. You can do single or double bounces. I meant to say that. You can do single or double bounces here. Over, hit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can see, my balance is better on my left foot. Again, you will have one better than the other. Over, hit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single or double, whichever you prefer at this point, and then onto the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more set on each, just to really sort of ingrain this idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back onto the left again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now, slightly more complex. 2 hops right foot, 2 hops left foot. It's called an alternate foot hop. Right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. Balanced all the time. So the rope comes over, right foot for 2, left foot for 2, right foot for 2, left foot for 2. Calm, controlled, and balanced. You're not rushing, and it isn't running. This is 2 hops right foot, 2 hops left foot, right foot, left foot. It's called an alternate foot hop. Stop. stop if you need to, and if you need to stop and start again, we reset, and then off we go again. Just do that for another 10 seconds or so, and then I'm going to take you on to the next thing. This is still footworks, so we're just warming you up through some footworks, and it is a warm-up, but it's also really important you get this aspect right before you go on to the rest of your skipping. The other thing to say, guys, is this is a relatively short session. We're not expecting your skipping to be perfect today. I'm trying to give you the inspiration and the ideas for you to take away and work on in the future through this Down the Skipping Man Skip Live. So what we're going to do now is running on the spot. The rope's going to come over, and the difference is from the last one where we did 2 on the right, 2 on the left, this time as the rope hits the ground, each foot is going to hit the ground every time the rope goes around. So it's literally, if I turn sideways, it's going to be literally running. Okay, we are simple as just running on the spot. So start with the rope behind you again, in your position, in the reset and the restart position. Rope comes over and hits. And can you hear each foot? I'm deliberately doing it loud here. Each foot is hitting the ground for every single turn. 1, 2, 1, 2. Every time that rope hits, I'm just jogging over the rope. Now with running on the spot, first thing to say for safety, obviously, is try and do it on the spot. Don't run around. But secondly, you can slightly play around with this one. You can run really slowly, or you can speed it up. You can go really as fast as you want to go, within reason, keep it safe obviously, but you can kind of mess around with running. It's a nice easy one to do, staying where you are on the spot, but going slowly, and this will really test that control element, and then quickly. And again it tests your control, but in a different way. And everyone thinks that skipping quickly is the way to show control. At Down the Skipping Man, we beg to differ. I genuinely think being able to skip slowly first is actually a much better way to then build up the quality of the skipping, because you're actually getting genuine control of the skipping rope. Okay, stop there, have a break. If you need a drink, grab a quick drink. But now what we're going to do is we are going to go on to what's called a rodeo. Now a rodeo, we just mentioned control and keeping things slow, and that's exactly what we're going to focus on here. So we're going to start skipping rope in front, one arm high, one arm low. The high hand, which is my right hand here, but it doesn't have to be your right hand, it could be your left. If that's the hand you write with, I'd suggest you put the hand you write with up in the air. So my right hand is going to do lots of work, it's going to do everything. My low hand is going to do no work at all. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to step over with my right foot, the foot that's on the same side as that high hand. I go around the back of my head up high, and I step out. I step in, around and out, in, around and out. I'm taking my time, I'm going really slowly here. I'm taking my time, I'm turning the rope around my body, and I'm really making sure that I'm never knocking myself with the skipping rope. Now this is a trick, okay? This isn't the warm-up anymore. This is actually a trick, but you have to keep control. And the reason we do this trick first is to allow you to practice that control, because then as you go on to the more difficult tricks, and the tricks which really do have, I made a mistake there, I just reset and start again, and the tricks that sort of really do take a little bit more coordination at times, or perceived coordination, you've been through how to control the rope and you know exactly what you're doing. So really slow round and step out as it comes round to the other shoulder. So the trigger here to step out is the rope goes around, comes to the opposite shoulder, you just lift the foot up. Okay, stop there, because what we're going to do now is simply build on that idea and do a turning rodeo. So this time, the rope's going round, but you're going to go round too. So you are going to walk around in a circle calmly, okay? So one arm high, one arm low, we step in, swing round and step out, do a normal rodeo, and then we just follow the direction of the rope around in a circle. We go around in that circle and back to the start, and what you'll notice is for every complete turn of me, the rope goes round about 4 times. So essentially I'm doing a quarter turn, a quarter turn, a quarter turn, and a quarter turn, and we're keeping control. It doesn't have to be too quick. And you're also following the direction that the rope is turning in. So you follow the direction the rope goes, and that tells you which way to turn. That's a turning rodeo. Have a break, have a breather at this point if you need a drink, because now we're going to work on some slightly more complex techniques with some trick skipping. So the next skill we're going to do is the crossover. And before we do anything with a crossover, I'm actually going to put my rope down and I'm going to show you how to do this trick or technique properly, but without the rope. So with a crossover, the idea is the elbows touch in as straight a diagonal as you can. You reach down to your pockets and you skip, and imagine I've got the rope there, through the cross in the skipping rope. Now you'll notice here I brought my head forward quite a lot. That's because we're going to have to reach down to those pockets. So if you look at my body position here, this is about balancing, leaning forward to reach down to your pockets, but not leaning forward so much that you fall over forwards. Okay, we want to balance it between the two. So it's kind of there just to bring ourselves forward, but keep your head up enough to keep control, because your head will make you topple forward if you bring it forward too much. It's very heavy, everyone's head's very heavy. So with the rope, we're going to do 3 or 4 double bounces. As soon as you feel confident, we're going to cross those arms down to our pockets and through. We're just going to do this once to start with. So we're going to do 3 or 4 double bounces and then have a go. Here we go. So feet together, 2, 3, reach down to your pockets and through and back. Okay, so that's one crossover. 1, 2, 3, reach down to your pockets and back. Another crossover. See if we can do it again. 1, 2, 3, down to your pockets and back. Now, if I tell at this point, I tell you about an incorrect technique which does the rounds in a lot of playgrounds around the country, and we're going to try and stop this technique happening so that we get it right. Okay, so that technique, we call it flapping. Okay, we call it flapping. You're not meant to flap with this skill. Now what flapping looks like is this. This is not a crossover. That is just flapping your arms. You're not actually skipping through the cross. Okay, so what we're going to focus on instead is bring those arms across, down and through and back. Cross, down and through and back. And we try again and we're back to normal. Really calm. Now you can see here I've linked this up now, the crossover, but I'm not doing it continuously. I'm doing a crossover and back to normal, skipping 3 or 4 times. Crossover, back to normal 3 or 4 times. Really, really calm, really, really composed in what you're doing, taking your time and just enjoying the challenge of trying to do a crossover. And with crossovers, they're kind of quite addictive. Once you get used to them, you'll really enjoy doing them and you'll probably want to throw them in quite a lot. Now what we're going to do, and have a drink if you need to at this point again, we are going to show you how to do something called a side swing. With a side swing, make sure again that there's nothing behind you, okay, that you could knock into. But what you're going to do is you're going to skip forwards, okay, in our sort of standard single or double bounce. When the rope comes over your head at the point you want to do this, you're going to bring your arms to one side, okay, so hands together, down to one side, parallel to your body. You're going to swing the rope to the side, hence a side swing, and then you're going to bring it back into skip and side swing again. Now, when the rope is outside of your body, okay, so when the rope is out here and you're not skipping it, you can do a jump or you can just stand still. It's totally your call. You can do it either way. So it's going to be skip, skip, side swing, back in. I'm doing it stood still there just to show you steadily. Side swing, skip, skip, side swing, skip, skip, side swing. Really calm. Doesn't need to be too fast. Okay, really nice and easy. And then with the jump in the place as well as the rope goes to the side, you're just basically keeping your double bounce going. Ropes to the side, parallel to your body, straight back and back in. Again, really relaxed. Now you can make it as complex as you want to do, but here we're just going to keep it really easy. Side swing one way, back in, side swing the other way, back in. We're going to do that a few more times. Hopefully you're keeping control. If you're not, just stop, reset, and try again. Over, side, back into the middle, side. Over, side, back into the middle, side. Really simple. That is how to do a side swing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work on some basics, but in reverse. And we're going to do literally backward skipping. So, I'm going to turn sideways to show this to you. You need your skipping rope in front of you to start, your feet together like they are glued. You're going to turn the rope back up and over your head, checking nothing and no one is behind you to start with. Just make sure you're in a safe space. Again, rope hits the ground, that's your trigger, and you jump as it does so. And all we're going to do first of all is a backward single bounce. So we're balanced again in our position. We know there's nothing and no one behind us. The rope comes back up and over our head and hits the ground, and we just single bounce over the skipping rope. Staying balanced, staying calm, staying composed. And then for this one, our next step with backward skipping today is simply double bounces backwards. So the rope's going to come over our head and hit the ground again. We're going to do the big jump and then add the little pop jump in as well. So it's going to be back up over, and you're just doing 2 bounces for every turn. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Feet together all the time. Big, little, big, little, big, little. Calm and relaxed with those elbows down by your sides. Right. Now what we're going to do have a drink there, because it's going to get a little bit more complex for us in a couple of minutes, and then we're going to do some high intensity stuff just to finish off. So for this Down the Skipping Man Skip Live, I wanted to show you and throw in a slightly more difficult trick than we've done so far, and it's called the pretzel. The beauty with this trick though is if you want to just practice this without a rope like we did with the crossover, feel free, okay? There's no judgment at all. We just want people included, we want people having a go, and we want them to sort of get inspired by skipping, and whatever progression and development time that takes, absolutely fine. So I've put my rope down for now. I'm going to stand with my feet shoulder width apart. I get both hands like that, and I put both hands onto the knee of the leg I kick a ball with. Now you'll notice I'm left-footed. I then bring the other knee up in the air, and my arm goes in between and underneath. And then from that position, chest up, head balanced, shoulders relaxed, I'm going to turn both wrists and I will aim to skip. So with this one, we start with the skipping rope in front of us, because when we get into the start position, we need it to end up behind us. Rope starts in front, step over the left foot, both hands go on that knee, the other knee comes up in the air, the arm goes in between and underneath, we turn both wrists, it hits, and we just skip as we go. Now again, as we've done right the way through, we can just make sure we do that once first time. So step over with the foot you kick with, other knee up in the air, arm in between and through, you swing the rope back up over as it hits, you jump once and you stop. You get into the position, you swing the rope over, it hits the ground, you jump once and you stop. Now today you might not be able to bring this all together to be able to do this continuously, but this trick is all about persistence, it's about resilience to eventually be able to string it all together and keep skipping in a position all the time. So let's just take you through it. You step over, both hands go on that knee, other knee up in the air, arm in between and through. Now it's all about balance here, and it's all about your poise. I actually got the rope trapped on my foot there, which is why I've restarted. It was trapped on my heel. I'm keeping the head up nice and still. I'm staying balanced. I turn with both hands, and as it hits, staying balanced, both wrists turning, I jump as it hits. Same idea, trigger and action, and that's how to do a pretzel. Okay, now what we're going to do, just to finish off, is we are going to do 2 efforts on what we call Learn, Skip, Smile. Now Learn, Skip, Smile is a basics challenge series that is on our YouTube channel, and the idea is we pick a certain skill, we give you a time to skip for, you do as many as you can do, you have a bit of a breather, and then you go again and you try and better your score. Now the first one we're going to do for 30 seconds is a single bounce. As I said, we're going to do 2 lots. So we're going to do 2 lots of single bounce, and then we're going to throw another skill in for the last learn, skip, smile as well. We're going to start in 10 seconds time. Our position is feet together, rope behind us, elbows tucked in down by our side, head up. And we're going to do 30 seconds skipping in 2, 1, off we go. So how many single bounces can you do in that time? Keep going. Okay, so that's 30 seconds. I did approximately 52, but you will have noticed I made a mistake. I lost concentration for a split second. The rope hit my foot. I stopped. What I really want you to note there is I didn't panic. Okay, it wasn't, oh, I've made an error. Everything's gone wrong. I stopped, thought I've made a mistake, reset position, start again. Now the idea with this, we're going to go in 5 seconds, is to better your score this time. Here we go. Keep going. Halfway. 10 seconds. Very good. Now I did a lot more than I did the first time. That time I upped the intensity a little bit. You may or may not have done. And if you didn't beat your score, I don't want you to panic. I don't want you to be sort of berating yourself because you didn't improve. We have just done, so far, nearly half an hour's worth of skipping. Tiredness is going to come into play at this point. Now we are going to do one more set of Learn, Skip, Smile. We're just going to do a 20-second burst, and it is going to be running on the spot. Now I don't know if you remember at the start I said the brilliant thing with running on the spot is it can be done slow, it can be done fast. This is meant to be inclusive, everyone's meant to be involved. So the idea here is I don't care how quick or how slow you go, you just got to keep trying to skip for 20 seconds. If you make a mistake, just start from where you made the error, that's absolutely fine. We're going to do 2 lots of running on the spot, 4 Learn, Skip, Smile, and then you can go and have a drink, you can go and have a break, knowing full well you've just done a fantastic skipping workout session for this Down the Skipping Man Skip Live. Right, ready to go then. Last 2 efforts, 20 seconds, running on the spot. How many can you do in that time? 3, 2, 1, off we go. Halfway. And stop. Okay, so I did 26 or 27 there. Okay, I'm going to try and better that score now just by upping the tempo a little bit. But remember, we are aiming to better your score. You're not worrying about what any of your friends can do, okay? You're worrying about what you can do. But even if you only beat it by 1, if you did 1, if you only managed 1, that's still a success, and you do 2 next time, okay? And you just do your best the whole way through this. This is not about comparison, it's not about judgment, it's just about trying. So, I'm going to start again in 3 seconds. It's the last burst, so do your best. Here we go, off we go. Last Learn, Skip, Smile, running on the spot. Halfway. And stop. Okay, as I said, we're at the end of a long skipping session. So if you didn't beat that score, don't worry too much, okay? If you didn't beat that score, don't worry too much. I hope you've enjoyed the Down the Skipping Man Skip Live. Just to finish, I'm going to leave you with some double unders. You don't have to do this. This is one for you to watch. We're going to skip normally. As soon as I feel confident, I'm going to lift my knees into a tuck jump, my weight forward slightly, and I'm going to turn the rope twice for 1 jump. It looks like this. So you can hear the rope whistle round. I'm being careful so the rope doesn't hit me. Knees come up, weight comes forward, rope turns twice for one jump. It's very fast, it's very tiring, but it's really, really good fun to do, and it's one for you to aim for in the future. For now, guys, from the Down the Skipping Man Skip Live, it's time for me to say goodbye, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Well done, and goodbye.